Okay, so here is pretty much after a week of messing around with this thing on and off in between other jobs. Here is the Sunseeker for Mama Lee here, the Lee Mama of the Leemen, and this is her sport. And we did the rough country fender flares on it. We did fishbone front bumper, worn winch, the rough country LED headlights. We did some Rubicon rock sliders on it. It's got the half doors on it now. She wanted to drive it over the weekend here in 45-degree weather with Sky One Touch back and half doors on it.
Comment below on how cold you think too cold is for half doors with no uppers.
Fishbone rear bumper, just a rough country spare tire riser. That is one of the tires and wheels that's going on it here next. So it looks a little silly on there. All right, it looks a lot silly, but it's on there. Kind of seeing if we like that color. Rough country LED tails. And on the inside here, like we showed you, this is the finished catskin leather with some marks from the car seat. They'll come out here in a little bit. I just popped it out. And the floor with crumbs on it already at 200 miles. But that's the Armor Light floor. Sweeps up super nice. Nice stuff. We also did the rough country auxiliary switches on here. They're right there. They got their own little box in the front here, like your S-Pods and things. That needs for the lockers that are about to go in it on Dana 44s. So here's our stock 392 axles that are headed out to have these Arctic Industries trusses welded on, and have the on the front here have the C's plated and the lower control arm skids put on. These are new takeoffs off of our 392 with the FAD delete plate that'll go back on. So they're headed out here today to get welded up, and when they get back, we're gonna gear swap them from take the 373s out, and we're gonna go with a 456 and get them underneath of this Jeep.
Look how nice these turned out. We were really happy with how all the welds looked and the penetration that it got on these housings. We threw a little bit of primer on them, and then just hit them in some semi-gloss black.
Let's go on the rack to get the suspension and axles gutted out of it. We've got these Dana 44s with trusses that are going in. They've got the E-lockers and they've got 456 gears. We've got some leftover suspension off of my 392. That's where the axles came from too. So all that's going in there, plus some other goodies. So we got to get to work.
Hit me up if you're looking for some JL Sport stock axles.
All right, so suspension's just about a wrap here. We're over on the alignment machine. You can see we've got our 392 Dana 44s with E-lockers. These were new takeoffs out of mine that we put under here. We got the Arctic Industries truss on here, metal cloak, cast iron cover, the Fox shocks off of the 392 with the big 392 brakes. Other than that, pretty much a stock rear suspension. We put a 3/4 inch spacer on those. Up front, same deal here. We've got the 392 Dana 44 with E-locker on the front. Whoop. It's got the Arctic truss on it all the way around. Metal cloak diff cover. You can check that truss out there. Woo! And it's got the ends here, like we showed you before. It's got the C's welded on here. This is the 392, so it does have the cast iron knuckles, CV fronts, and everything's a little bit thicker too. On the front here, we've got an adjustable track bar. We got the factory Rubicon drag link and tie rod, because they're different from our Sport. We've got a Fox pass-through steering stabilizer, bigger brakes. We got to put the Rubicon front sway bar on here, the electric sway bar. We're taking the electric off, and it'll be a manual screw-in disconnect. But it's sitting over here on the bench. It's going in next. We did the Mopar longer control arms too. The 392, even though it's taller, they use the same control arms in it as they would a regular Rubicon or a regular Sport. There's no extra length in them. I really thought there would be, but there isn't. So these are the Mopars, which are about a 1/2 inch longer. Get your caster back into check. And we moved the FAD over here, the front axle disconnect. She's gonna be driving this thing on the road most of the time. So to save some fuel, we moved that over from our Sport axle over to this 44. The 392 has a plate right there that holds your FAD locked, so it is locked all the time, since it is all-wheel drive and no FAD disconnect. Same deal, Fox shocks. Other than that, we got to finish putting it together, get it aligned, take it out, drive it, see how it does. Nope, he's turned it.
No. He doesn't want to be our friend.
He wants to be your friend.
Best friends forever. I love you.
So to wrap up part 2 here, we've got the 392 factory lift in. We've got these 17-inch wheels wrapped in 37-inch Cooper STT Pros, probably my first or second favorite tire. And we're just going to go out, put some miles on this thing, and see how we like it. Stay tuned for part 3, where we'll be getting a little bit more in-depth and doing some more stuff to this. Don't forget to check out part 1 if you've missed it. Have a good one.